The world tilts sideways, and I taste copper on my tongue. My knees hit concrete first, sharp, unforgiving, and then my palms scrape against the hospital's entrance steps. The emergency room doors glow fluorescent white above me, so close I can see my reflection in the glass. Pale, hollow-eyed, broken, I need to stand. I need to walk through those doors, but my body won't cooperate anymore. 3 days without eating will do that. 3 days of running, hiding, existing on nothing but fear and tap water in gas station bathrooms. Miss, can you hear me? A woman's voice. Nurse, probably. I try to answer, but my throat is sandpaper, and my vision is spotting black around the edges. Hands touch my shoulders, clinical, efficient, and I hear urgent Spanish being shouted behind me. Necesitamos una camilla aquí. The stretcher arrives. They lift me, and pain explodes across my ribs where Marcus kicked me 2 nights ago. I bite back the scream, tasting blood again. Multiple contusions, someone says. Possible internal bleeding. Get her to trauma too. The automatic doors swallow me whole. Fluorescent lights strobe past overhead, one after another, and I close my eyes against them, against everything. If I'm lucky, I'll die here. If I'm lucky, Marcus will never find me. If I'm lucky. But I've never been lucky. Consciousness returns in fragments, beeping first, steady, rhythmic. A heart monitor, my brain supplies, then pain. Dull now, muted, wrapped in pharmaceutical cotton, IV in my left arm, bandages tight around my ribs, clean sheets that smell like industrial detergent and something else, something expensive. Cedar, leather, cologne that costs more than my monthly rent used to. My eyes snap open. This isn't a hospital room. The walls are too dark, charcoal gray instead of sterile white. The bed is too large, too soft, with black silk sheets that whisper against my hospital gown when I move. Floor-to-ceiling windows reveal a cityscape I don't recognize, buildings glittering like scattered diamonds against the night sky. We're high up, very high up, and there's a man in the corner. He sits in a leather chair that probably costs more than a car, one leg crossed over the other, reading something on his phone. The glow illuminates sharp features, strong jaw, blade-straight nose, dark hair swept back from his forehead. He's wearing a 3-piece suit at, I glance at the clock on the nightstand, 2:47 a.m. Charcoal gray, perfectly tailored, with a burgundy tie that matches the wine glass on the side table next to him. He doesn't look up from his phone when he speaks. You're awake. His voice is deep, accented. Italian, my brain supplies, though I've only heard it in movies. That's good. My doctor was concerned about the concussion. His doctor? Where? My voice cracks. I try again. Where am I? My home. He sets the phone down, finally looking at me. His eyes are dark, so dark they're almost black in the dim light, and they assess me with the same clinical efficiency as the nurses had, but there's something else there, something that makes my pulse spike on the monitor. You collapsed outside St. Catherine's Hospital 3 hours ago. The security cameras picked you up. I had my people bring you here. I process this slowly, had his people bring me here, not called an ambulance, not taken me inside the emergency room, brought me here, to wherever here is. I need to go. I try to sit up and pain shoots through my ribs. The monitor beeps frantically. You need to stay in that bed. He hasn't raised his voice, but something in his tone makes me freeze. You have 3 cracked ribs, a concussion, and you were severely dehydrated. My doctor has you on IV fluids and pain medication. If you try to leave, you'll last approximately 10 minutes before you collapse again. I don't care. I have to run from whoever did this to you. He stands, and I realize he's tall, very tall. He crosses to the bed in 3 strides, and suddenly he's too close, standing over me with those obsidian eyes cataloging every injury Marcus left on my skin. The bruises on your arms are from fingers, large hands, male. The cut on your lip is from a ring, signet style based on the pattern. You've been hit before, multiple times. There's scar tissue around your left eyebrow that's at least 6 months old. My heart hammers against my injured ribs. How do you— I notice things. He reaches out and I flinch. He pauses, then slowly, so slowly I could stop him if I wanted. He brushes his thumb along my jawline. His touch is gentle, but his eyes are fury. Whoever put his hands on you made a mistake. You don't understand. My voice sounds small, broken. I hate it. He'll find me. He always finds me. Let him try. 3 words. Simple. But the way he says them, like a promise, like a threat, makes something shift in my chest. Who are you? I whisper. His mouth curves into something that's not quite a smile. My name is Alessandro Moretti. He waits, watching my face. When I don't react, he adds, You don't recognize the name? Should I? No. Good. He straightens, adjusting his cufflinks with practiced precision. Then we'll keep this simple. You need protection. I can provide it. You need time to heal. I can provide that as well. In exchange, I don't have any money. The words come out bitter. I don't have anything. I don't want your money, Sienna. My blood turns to ice. I didn't tell you my name. You didn't have to. He picks up a phone from my nightstand, my phone, the screen cracked from when Marcus threw it across his apartment. You had 12 missed calls from someone named Marcus, 37 text messages. I read them. Violation floods through me, hot and sharp. You had no right. I had every right. His voice turns cold. You were unconscious in my bed. I needed to know if someone would be looking for you. And they are. He holds up the phone, showing me Marcus's latest message. I don't need to read it to know what it says. I've seen variations 100 times. You can't hide from me, baby. I'll find you. And when I do, you're going to wish you'd never run. He's a coward. Alessandro drops the phone back on the nightstand like it's contaminated. Cowards always are when they're found. Let him come. You don't know what he's capable of. And he doesn't know what I'm capable of. Alessandro straightens his tie, and I notice his knuckles for the first time. Scarred, the kind of scarring that doesn't come from accidents. Rest, Sienna. We'll discuss terms in the morning. Terms? Panic rises in my throat. What terms? What do you want from me? He pauses at the door, looking back at me over his shoulder. The city lights behind him turn him into a silhouette, all sharp edges and darkness. What I want, he says slowly, is to make sure the man who hurt you never touches you again. The question is, what are you willing to let me do to ensure that? He leaves before I can answer. The door clicks shut and I hear the distinct sound of a lock engaging. I'm not a guest here. I'm a prisoner. Dawn breaks over the city like a wound, all pink and gold and bleeding. I didn't sleep. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Marcus's face, heard his voice, felt his hands on my throat, and underneath that, the stranger's words, Alessandro Moretti. I still don't know who he is, but I know this much. Normal people don't have their doctor on call at 3 a.m. Normal people don't lock women in penthouse bedrooms and talk about making people disappear like it's ordering coffee. The door unlocks at exactly 7 a.m. A woman enters, mid-40s, wearing a simple black dress and carrying a tray. She doesn't look at me as she sets it on the bed. Coffee, toast, fruit, a bottle of water, and 3 pills in a small cup. Mr. Moretti says you're to eat and take your medication. Her English is perfect but heavily accented, Russian maybe. The bathroom is through there. She nods toward a door I hadn't noticed. There are clothes in the closet. Your size. How does he know my size? Her expression doesn't change. Mr. Moretti knows everything. She turns to leave. Wait. I struggle to sit up, ignoring the pain. Please, I need to leave. Mr. Moretti will see you in his office at 9 a.m. Don't be late. She walks out, and the lock engages again. I stare at the tray. The coffee smells incredible, real, expensive, nothing like the instant kind I've been drinking for years. My stomach growls traitorously. I shouldn't eat his food, shouldn't take his medication, shouldn't trust anything in this gilded cage, but I'm so hungry, so tired. And the pills. I pick up the bottle. It's prescription, my name already on the label. Sienna Hartley. For pain. Take one every 6 hours with food. He got my full name. Got a prescription filled, all in the middle of the night. I take the pills, eat the toast, drink the water, not because I trust him, because I need my strength if I'm going to find a way out of here. The bathroom is obscene, marble everywhere, walls, floor, countertops, in shades of cream and gold. The shower is large enough for 4 people, with multiple shower heads and controls that look like they belong in a spaceship. I catch my reflection in the mirror and barely recognize myself. The bruises are worse in daylight, purple-black around my left eye, fading yellow along my jaw. The cut on my lip is crusted over. There are finger marks on my throat, around my wrists. Evidence, proof of what Marcus did, and underneath that, someone else's marks. Clean white bandages wrapped around my ribs, IV tape residue on my arm, the work of Alessandro's mysterious doctor. I shower carefully, avoiding the bandages, letting hot water wash away 3 days of running. There's soap that smells like lavender, shampoo that probably costs more than my weekly grocery budget used to. I use it all. If I'm going to be trapped here, I might as well be clean. The penthouse is even more impressive in daylight. We walk through a living room that's all clean lines and expensive leather, past a kitchen with marble counters and commercial-grade appliances, down a hallway lined with abstract art that's probably original. Everything is dark colors, masculine, intimidating, the kind of place that's meant to overwhelm. The woman stops at a door, knocks twice, waits. A voice responds from inside, Alessandro's voice, though I can't make out the words. She opens the door, gestures me in, then leaves without a word. I step inside, and the door closes behind me. Alessandro's office is a study in controlled power. Floor-to-ceiling windows show the city spread below us like a chessboard, dark wood furniture that's antique but maintained, shelves lined with leather-bound books, their spines embossed in gold, and behind a massive desk, Alessandro himself, still in a suit, navy this time, looking like he's been awake for hours. Probably has been. He doesn't stand when I enter, just watches me with those dark eyes, expressionless. Sit. He indicates one of 2 leather chairs facing his desk. I'd rather stand. It wasn't a suggestion. Something in his voice makes my legs obey before my brain catches up. I sink into the chair, hating myself for it, hating that I'm scared, hating that he knows I'm scared. Better. He leans back, steepling his fingers beneath his chin. We need to discuss your situation. My situation is that you're holding me prisoner. Interesting. One dark eyebrow arches. Is that what you think this is? You locked me in a room. For your protection. I didn't ask for your protection. No. He leans forward, and the morning light catches something on his desk I hadn't noticed. My phone. But your messages suggest you need it. Shall I read some of them aloud? My face burns. You already invaded my privacy enough. I'll find you, Sienna, and when I do, I'll make sure you can't run again. Alessandro's voice is clinical, detached as he reads Marcus's words. You belong to me. You'll always belong to me. No one else will want you when I'm done. He sets the phone down, those dark eyes boring into mine. 37 messages like this, some much worse. Tell me, Sienna, when were you going to report him to the police? I tried. The words come out bitter. 3 times. They said there wasn't enough evidence, that threats weren't enough to issue a restraining order, that I should work it out with him. Incompetent fools. He says it casually, but there's steel underneath. The police are useless. They follow rules that protect men like Marcus, not women like you. And what are you? My hero? I laugh, and it sounds broken even to my ears. You locked me in a room. You read my private messages. You had me brought to your house against my will. How are you any different from him? Silence falls like a blade. Alessandro stands slowly, and I realize I've made a mistake. He rounds the desk with predatory grace, and I shrink back in the chair even though I told myself I wouldn't show fear, wouldn't give him that power. But then he does something unexpected. He crouches in front of me, bringing himself to my eye level, not looming, not dominating, just there. Close enough that I can see flecks of amber in his dark eyes, close enough to smell that expensive cologne again, close enough that if I wanted to, I could. The difference, he says softly, is that I'm asking you a question, and your answer matters. What question? Do you want to be free of him? Truly free, not just running, not just hiding, but free. I open my mouth. Close it. My throat is suddenly tight and I realize I'm shaking. Yes. Then let me help you. Why? The word comes out as a whisper. Why would you help me? You don't know me, you don't owe me anything. What do you get out of this? He studies my face for a long moment and I can't read his expression at all. Finally, he says, "Men who hurt women are a particular weakness of mine. I eliminate weaknesses." Eliminate. Not address, not handle. Eliminate. What does that mean? I ask, even though part of me already knows. Alessandro stands, returning to his side of the desk. He opens a drawer, pulls out a folder, and slides it across to me. That's Marcus Holloway. Age 32. Regional sales manager for a pharmaceutical company, owns a condo in the financial district, has a record, domestic disturbance calls from 2 previous girlfriends, both dropped, 1 stalking charge, dismissed. He's done this before, he'll do it again. I stare at the folder without opening it. How did you get all this? I told you, I notice things, and I have resources. He leans forward. I can make him go away, Sienna. Permanently. 1 phone call and he vanishes. No more texts, no more threats, no more running. Just gone. My blood turns cold. You're talking about killing him. I'm talking about freeing you. That's murder. That's illegal. Many things I do are illegal. He says it like he's commenting on the weather. But they're effective. I should run, should scream, should do something. Because this man, this beautiful, terrifying man in his expensive suit and his pristine office, just casually offered to commit murder like it's a favor. But instead, I hear myself ask, "Who are you, really?" Alessandro tilts his head slightly, considering. Then he reaches into his jacket, pulls out a slim leather wallet, and slides it across the desk. I open it with shaking hands. The card inside is simple. Alessandro Moretti, CEO, Moretti Enterprises. That's your cover, I say. Your business front. What do you really do? Everything, he says simply. Import, export, real estate, shipping, all legitimate on paper. A pause. Mostly legitimate. Mostly. I come from a traditional family, Sienna. Very traditional. My father ran certain operations before he passed them to me. I've modernized, made us more legitimate, but some connections remain. Traditional, operations, connections, understanding crashes over me like cold water. Your Mafia. He doesn't flinch at the word. That term is outdated. I prefer entrepreneur with diverse interests. But yes, if you need to put a label on it, I have connections to organized business practices. Oh my God. I stand up, the chair scraping back. Oh my God, I'm in a mafia boss's house? Technically, you're in a successful businessman's house. He sounds almost amused. The Mafia Association is just historical context. Historical context? My voice rises. You just offered to murder someone. I offered to solve your problem. By committing a crime. By removing a threat. He stands too, and suddenly the desk between us feels like the only thing keeping me safe. Marcus Holloway hurt you. He's promised to hurt you again. The police won't help. Your friends and family, do you even have any anymore? Or did he isolate you so completely that you have nowhere else to go? The words hit like physical blows because they're true. Marcus systematically cut me off from everyone over the past 2 years, made me quit my job, made me drop my friends, made me dependent on him until running was my only option, and now I have nothing, no one, except, apparently, a mafia boss who wants to help. Why? I whisper again. Why do you care? Alessandro's expression shifts. Just for a moment, something raw and painful flashes across his features before he locks it down again. Because 10 years ago, my sister Elena was in your position. She ran from a man who hurt her, ran to me, asked for help. He looks out the window, jaw tight. I was young, arrogant. I thought I could handle it diplomatically, thought I could reason with him, pay him off, make him leave her alone. What happened? He killed her. The words are flat, emotionless. Broke into her apartment and strangled her in her sleep. By the time I got there, he cuts himself off, turns back to me. I swore that day I would never let another man hurt a woman in my world and live to do it again. So when my security cameras showed you collapse on my property, yes, the hospital is on my property, I acted. Your property? I own St. Catherine's, and the block it's on, and several surrounding blocks. He waves a hand dismissively. I donate significantly. They ask few questions. Of course he does. Of course he owns the hospital, because that's apparently the world I've stumbled into, a world where powerful men control entire city blocks and offer murder as a solution to problems. This is insane, I say. This entire situation is insane. Yes, Alessandro agrees, but it's also your reality. You can stay here under my protection, and I will ensure Marcus Holloway never touches you again. Or you can leave. He gestures toward the door. I won't stop you. The door is unlocked. You can walk out right now, and I'll even have my driver take you wherever you want to go. I look at the door. It is unlocked. I can see the light is green on the keypad now. But if you leave, he continues quietly, you'll be alone. No money, no place to stay. And Marcus will find you eventually. He's already tracking your phone. I had to destroy the SIM card. He'll have people watching the shelters, your friends' houses, anywhere you might go. And when he finds you, what he did to you before. His eyes drop to the bruises on my arms. That will look merciful compared to what comes next. You're scaring me. Good. He steps around the desk, and I fight the urge to retreat. You should be scared. Marcus Holloway is a predator, and you're wounded prey. The only question is whether you want to keep running, or whether you want to become something he's never encountered before. What's that? Alessandro's smile is sharp, dangerous. Protected. I don't leave. The rational part of my brain, the part that still works despite 3 days of trauma, knows I should, knows that accepting help from a self-admitted criminal is probably just trading one dangerous man for another. But the exhausted part, the terrified part, the part that's so tired of running, that part makes me sit back down. Tell me the terms, I say quietly. You said we'd discuss terms, so discuss. Alessandro returns to his chair, but there's something different in his posture now. Satisfaction, maybe, or respect. You stay here, in my house, under my protection, for as long as you need to recover, physically and otherwise. As your prisoner? As my guest. You locked me in a room. For one night, until I knew you wouldn't try to run in your condition. He leans back. The door to your room is unlocked now, as are all the doors in this house, with 2 exceptions. My private office and my bedroom. You may go anywhere else you please. Can I leave the building? With security, yes. So I am a prisoner. You're a target, he corrects. And targets need protection. Would you prefer I let you wander the streets alone so Marcus can find you? I bite my lip, tasting blood from the cut that's already there. What else? You'll eat. Properly. My chef will prepare meals to help you regain your strength. You'll see my doctor again tomorrow to check your ribs. You'll attend therapy. I have someone on staff who specializes in trauma. Of course you do, I mutter. Do you have an entire staff of illegal professionals? Semi-legal, he corrects with a slight smile. And yes, now, he steeples his fingers again. In exchange for this protection, I ask 3 things from you. Here it comes. The catch. The reason a man like Alessandro Moretti doesn't just help out of the goodness of his heart. 1. You tell me everything about Marcus. How you met, how the abuse started, who his friends are, where he works, everything. I need to know my enemy to eliminate him. Eliminate, that word again. I don't want you to kill him. Why not? The question is so casual, so genuinely curious that I blink. Because it's wrong. Because he's a person, he's a predator. But I don't want his death on my conscience. It won't be. Alessandro's voice is firm. If I eliminate Marcus Holloway, it will be my choice, my action, my consequence. You bear no responsibility. That's not how guilt works. Then tell me how to make him stop without killing him, and I'll consider alternatives. He waits. But know this, Sienna, men like Marcus don't stop. They escalate. The next woman he dates, or the one after that, how many more need to suffer before someone stops him permanently? The words settle like stones in my stomach because they're true. I saw Marcus's pattern, saw how he methodically broke me down over 2 years, how he started with small criticisms, moved to controlling my clothes, then my friends, then my phone, how the first time he slapped me, he cried and apologized and swore it would never happen again, how by the time he started punching, I was so isolated I had no one to call for help. And I reported it, tried to leave, called the police 3 times. Nothing changed. What are your other 2 terms? I ask instead of answering. 2. While you're here, you follow my rules, my schedule. You don't leave without telling security. You don't contact anyone from your previous life without clearing it with me first. Marcus can't find you here, but only if you don't lead him here. So I am a prisoner. You're safe. He holds my gaze. There's a difference. And the 3rd term? Alessandro hesitates for the first time since I met him. It's subtle, just a brief pause before he speaks, but it's there. 3. You attend functions with me. I blink. Functions? Business dinners, charity galas, events where I need a companion. You want me to be your, what, your date? Your girlfriend? My partner. Publicly. He straightens his cuffs. I have business associates who expect me to appear stable, settled. A single man in my position attracts complications, questions. A woman by my side solves several problems. Let me get this straight. I lean forward. You want me to pretend to be your girlfriend to make you look good to your mob friends? Business associates, he corrects. And yes, that's insane. That's the deal. We stare at each other across the desk. His face is impassive, controlled, giving nothing away. But I can see tension in his shoulders, in the set of his jaw. This matters to him, more than he's admitting. How long? I ask finally. As long as you need my protection. Could be weeks. Could be months. A pause. Could be longer, depending on when Marcus is no longer a threat. When, not if. Because in Alessandro's world, threats get eliminated, one way or another. And what happens after? I press. After Marcus is gone, or after I'm healed, or after you don't need a fake girlfriend anymore, what then? Then you leave if you wish, with enough money to start over, a new identity if you want it. References for any job you choose. I have connections. Of course you do. I take care of my people, Sienna, and if you agree to this, you'll be one of my people. One of his people. Property, possession. Just like Marcus claimed I was, except this time I'm supposed to feel grateful about it. But then again, I look down at my hands, at the fading bruises around my wrists. At least Alessandro is being honest about what he wants. Marcus pretended to love me while he was breaking me down. Alessandro isn't pretending anything. I need to think about it, I say. Of course. He stands. Take the day. Tonight I have a business dinner. You're not required to attend, though you're welcome to see what these events entail. Tomorrow morning I'll need your answer. And if I say no? Then I'll have my driver take you to a safe house I own in the suburbs. You can stay there for 2 weeks free of charge. After that? He shrugs. You're on your own? 2 weeks, against a man who's been tracking me for 3 days already. I stand too, fighting the dizziness that comes with moving too fast. Can I ask you something? Anything. Your sister, Elena. I watch his face carefully. Did you eliminate the man who killed her? For the first time, Alessandro's mask cracks completely. The grief that floods his features is raw, devastating, but underneath it, something cold and satisfied. No, he says quietly, I did something worse. What's worse than death? His smile is terrible. For some men, watching everything they love burn while they're powerless to stop it. His business, his reputation, his family's fortune, his brother's freedom. I dismantled his entire life piece by piece, and only when he had nothing left, when he'd lost everything and everyone, did I let my people find him in a prison shower. The words should horrify me, should send me running. Instead, all I can think is, he loved his sister that much. I'll give you my answer tomorrow, I say. Alessandro nods, his mask sliding back into place. Maria will show you around the house. If you need anything, just ask. I turn toward the door, then pause. Alessandro? Yes? Thank you. For last night, for the doctor and the room and… I trail off, not sure how to finish. You're welcome, Sienna. His voice is softer than I've heard it. And for what it's worth, I hope you stay. Maria the housekeeper gives me a tour that takes almost an hour. The penthouse is massive, easily 8,000 square feet, she tells me with pride, occupying the entire top floor of the building. There's the main living area I've seen, all dark leather and expensive art. A dining room with a table that seats 12 beneath a crystal chandelier. A library with thousands of books organized by some system I don't understand. A home gym that has more equipment than most commercial places. A home theater with genuine theater seats. And the kitchen. Mr. Moretti employs a full-time chef, Maria explains in her accented English as we walk through the gleaming space. Antonio, he trained in Milan. He will cook whatever you desire. I'm sure I can cook for myself. No. She says it firmly, brooking no argument. Mr. Moretti insists, you are his guest. Guests do not cook. I give up arguing and follow her to the guest wing. There are 4 bedrooms, each with private bathrooms that are almost as obscene as the one in my room. Maria points out which room is mine. I can tell by the breakfast tray still sitting on the nightstand, and which rooms are occasionally occupied by business associates. Do people live here often? I ask. Maria's expression tightens almost imperceptibly. Sometimes, when it's necessary. Necessary? Like when someone needs protection, or hiding, or… I don't ask more questions. The tour ends at a set of double doors at the far end of the penthouse. Maria stops, doesn't open them. This is Mr. Moretti's private wing, she says. His office, bedroom, study, you are not to enter without invitation. I understand. She nods approvingly, then checks her watch. It's nearly noon. Would you like lunch? My stomach growls in answer. Maria smiles, the first genuine expression I've seen from her, and leads me back to the kitchen. Lunch is surreal. Antonio the chef appears from somewhere and starts cooking without asking what I want. Within 20 minutes, I'm sitting at the dining room table with homemade ravioli and sage butter sauce, fresh bread still warm from the oven, and a salad that tastes like it was picked this morning. It's the best meal I've had in years. Thank you, I tell Antonio when he comes to check on me. He's younger than I expected, maybe 30, with kind eyes and flour permanently dusted into his hairline. Prego. He smiles. Manja, manja. You are too thin. We will fix this. After lunch, I explore on my own. Not because I'm comfortable, the house is too big, too quiet, too alien, but because I need to know the space, need to map exits, understand the layout, catalog everything useful. Old habits from surviving Marcus. The library draws me in. Floor-to-ceiling shelves, a ladder on rails to reach the top levels, leather armchairs positioned by windows that overlook the city. I run my fingers along the spines. Italian novels, business books, classic literature in multiple languages. There's a section on art history, another on wine, poetry in the corner. I pull down a slim volume, Dante's Inferno, in Italian, with English translation on facing pages. The pages are worn, like someone's read it many times. There are notes in the margins in neat handwriting. Alessandro's? Probably. "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here," I read aloud, then laugh bitterly. Too late for that advice. It's actually a mistranslation. I spin, and Alessandro is standing in the doorway. He's changed. Gone is the suit, replaced by dark slacks and a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. It should make him look more casual, more approachable. Instead, it just draws attention to his forearms, which are, "Stop it, Sienna, stop noticing." The original Italian is more like, "Abandon every hope," he continues, walking into the library. More absolute, more final. He takes the book gently from my hands, finds a page, reads, "Lasciate ogni speranza, voi centrate." You don't just abandon hope when you enter hell. You abandon every possible version of hope that could ever exist. Cheerful reading material. Dante understood something important. Alessandro closes the book. Hell isn't fire and brimstone. It's perfectly designed punishment. Every sinner gets exactly what they deserve. No more, no less. It's just, is that why you keep it? Because you relate? He looks at me for a long moment. I keep it because my father gave it to me when I was 16, the day he explained what our family really was, what I would inherit. He returns the book to its shelf. He said if I was going to live in a world built on sin, I should at least understand the geography. And do you? Understand it? Better than I'd like. He moves to the window, looking out at the city spread below. In daylight, I can see more details. The skyline is downtown, which means we're probably in one of those new luxury towers that charge $10,000 a month for a studio. This penthouse must cost, I can't even imagine. You didn't have to show me the house, I say, or feed me or let me explore. You could have kept me locked in that room. I could have. He doesn't turn around. But I'm not Marcus, Sienna. When I say you're my guest, I mean it. But I'm still a prisoner, just in a nicer cell. Do you know what the word asylum means? He turns finally, and there's something in his expression I can't read. Originally, it meant a place of refuge, somewhere safe from pursuit, only later did it come to mean prison. A pause. This house is your asylum. Both kinds, perhaps. But at least here, you're safe. Until you decide I'm not useful anymore. Is that what you think? That I'm using you? Aren't you? You said it yourself. You need a companion for appearances, a woman to make you look stable. I'm convenient. Convenient? He laughs, but there's no humor in it. Sienna, if I wanted convenient, I could hire an escort, have a different woman on my arm every night, all of them trained to smile and nod and never ask questions. He moves closer and I force myself not to back away. Do you know why I offered to help you specifically? Because of your sister. Partially, but also... He stops an arm's length away, close enough that I have to tilt my head to meet his eyes. When you collapsed on those hospital steps, you had nothing. No phone that worked, no wallet, no ID. Just a bus ticket stub in your pocket from 3 states away, and a determination to survive that most people lose long before they get that desperate. You could have died on those steps. Instead, you crawled up them, trying to reach help. So, most people break. His voice is soft but intense. Marcus broke you financially, socially, physically. But he didn't break your will to survive. That takes strength most people don't have. Or stupidity. Strength, he insists. And I don't waste resources on weak people, Sienna. If I'm offering you protection, it's because I think you're worth protecting. The words settle between us like something fragile. For a moment, we just stand there, and I'm acutely aware of how close he is. How tall, how his cologne smells like cedar and danger, how his eyes aren't quite black, they're deep brown with gold flecks, like expensive whiskey. I step back. I should go. Let you get back to work. Sienna? Tomorrow, I cut him off. You'll have my answer tomorrow, like we agreed. He nods slowly. Tomorrow. I leave before I can do something stupid like trust him. Dinner is brought to my room at 6. I didn't ask for it. Antonio just appears with another tray, this time with grilled salmon, roasted vegetables, and chocolate torte for dessert. He sets it up at the small table by the window, lights a candle, and disappears without a word. I eat alone, watching the sun set over the city. From this height, everything looks clean. Ordered. You can't see the alley where I slept 2 nights ago, or the gas station where I stole food, or the bus station where Marcus's friend almost found me. Just glittering buildings and neat streets and the illusion of safety. It's a beautiful lie. After dinner, I try to sleep. Can't. My body is exhausted, but my mind won't stop racing. Alessandro's offer, Marcus's threats, the impossible choice between 2 dangerous men. Except, are they the same? Marcus hit me because I looked at another man. Alessandro offered to kill Marcus because he hit me. Marcus controlled my phone, my clothes, my friends. Alessandro locked one door, then unlocked all the others. Marcus told me he loved me while he was breaking my ribs. Alessandro told me he'd understand if I left. One of these things is not like the other. At midnight, I give up on sleep and wander into the hallway. The penthouse is quiet, but not dark. Soft lights glow along the baseboards, enough to navigate by. I head toward the library, thinking I'll find something boring to read until I'm tired enough to pass out. But voices stop me. Male voices, speaking Italian, coming from behind the double doors of Alessandro's private wing. I should leave, should respect his privacy, should... Non possiamo lasciare che Marcus Holloway viva. I don't speak Italian, but I recognize Marcus's name, and the tone is angry. Fratello, calmati. Alessandro's voice, calmer but firm. Fratello, I know that word. Brother. Ha fatto questo a lei? The other voice again. Le farò lo stesso. No. Alessandro cuts him off sharply. Questo non è vendetta, è protezione. Protection. I catch that word too. Footsteps approach the door, and I scramble back, heart pounding. I make it to the library doorway just as Alessandro's office opens. Light spills into the hallway, and 2 figures emerge. Alessandro the fur recognize. The other man is younger, late 20s maybe, with the same dark hair and sharp features. Brother, apparently. He's dressed more casually, jeans and a leather jacket. But there's something in the way he moves that screams danger. Don't care what you promised her, the brother is saying in English now. He hurt her, he dies. Marco. Alessandro's voice is patient, but strained. We do this my way, carefully. No bodies that lead back to us. Since when do you care about careful? Since I have a woman in my house who's already terrified of violent men. Alessandro runs a hand through his hair. If she sees us as monsters, she'll run. And Marcus will find her. Then don't let her see. Marco grins, and it's wolfish. I can make it look like an accident. Car crash, maybe, or... Marco. Fine, fine. He raises his hands in surrender. Your way. But if he comes anywhere near this building, then you have my permission to get creative. They both laugh, and the sound is dark and dangerous and should send me running back to my room. But I'm frozen, watching them. Brothers. Family. United in their willingness to commit murder for me? No. Not for me. For Alessandro's sister's memory. For principle. I'm just the latest woman in a long line of women these men have decided to protect. But still. They're protecting me. Marco leaves through a private elevator I hadn't noticed before. Alessandro watches him go, then sighs and turns, and sees me standing in the library doorway. We freeze. For a long moment, neither of us moves. Then, "How much did you hear?" he asks quietly. "Enough." I step into the hallway. "You have a brother." "Half-brother. Same father, different mothers." He loosens his tie. "Marco handles security issues for the family." Security issues. Is that what you call murder? I call it protecting what's mine. I'm not yours. No. He moves closer. But you're under my protection, which amounts to the same thing in my world. That's insane. That's reality. He stops in front of me, and I can see exhaustion around his eyes now. In my world, Sienna, you protect your people or you lose them. There's no middle ground. No police to call, no courts to trust. Just us and our choices. Sounds lonely. It is. The admission is quiet, almost vulnerable. Which is why I need someone by my side who understands that this life isn't normal, who won't flinch when I have to make hard decisions. Like killing Marcus. Like eliminating threats. I laugh bitterly. You keep using that word. Eliminate. Like he's a problem in a math equation, not a person. He stopped being a person when he put his hands on you. Alessandro's voice turns cold. He's a threat now, and threats get eliminated. And what happens when I become a threat? The words are out before I can stop them. When I know too much or see too much or decide I want to leave, do I get eliminated too? No. How can I believe that? Because he stops, jaw working. Then softer. Because I'm asking you to trust me. I know I haven't earned it. I know every instinct you have is screaming to run. But I'm asking anyway. Why? Because I look at you and I see my sister. I see every woman who's been hurt by a man who thought he owned her. And I think, maybe this time I can save one. Maybe this time I'm not too late. The grief in his voice is tangible. Real. And suddenly I understand. This isn't about me at all. It's about Elena, about guilt, about a brother who couldn't save his sister and is trying to make amends by saving every woman after. I should feel used, should feel manipulated. Instead, I just feel sad. For him. For Elena. For every woman who's ever had to run. I'll do it, I say. Alessandro's eyes snap to mine. What? Your deal, your terms. I'll stay here. I'll attend your functions. I'll be your fake girlfriend or whatever you need me to be. I take a breath. But I have conditions too. Name them. 1. You don't kill Marcus without telling me first. I may not want him dead, but I want to know when it happens. Agreed. 2. If I want to leave, really leave, not just run away, you let me go. No arguments, no threats, no eliminating me. Agreed. And 3, I meet his eyes. You tell me the truth, about what you do, who you are, all of it. If I'm going to be part of your world, I need to understand it. He studies my face for a long moment, then, slowly, he extends his hand. Agreed. I take it. His palm is warm, calloused. The handshake is firm. And just like that, I make a deal with the devil. The next evening, Alessandro takes me shopping. Not to a mall, to a private boutique in a district I don't recognize, where the door is locked and the owner greets Alessandro by name. She takes one look at me and starts pulling dresses like she already knows my size, my coloring, what will work. She probably does. Alessandro probably told her everything. Tonight is low-key, Alessandro explains, as I'm pushed into a dressing room with 6 options. Just dinner with a business associate and his wife. You smile, make conversation, show that I'm not a sociopathic loner. But you are a sociopath, I call through the door. Semi-sociopath, he corrects, and I can hear amusement in his voice. I have some emotions, just not about people who hurt what's mine. What's mine? He keeps saying that. I try on a black dress first. Elegant, simple, probably costs more than my car used to. It fits perfectly. Of course it does. I step out to show Alessandro, and his expression shifts. No. No? Too severe. You look like you're going to a funeral. He gestures to the owner. The navy? With the silver details. 3 dresses later, we settle on a deep emerald green that hugs curves I didn't know I still had. It's sophisticated without being formal, expensive without being flashy. The owner adds silver heels, a clutch, and simple jewelry. Perfect, Alessandro says, and the satisfaction in his voice makes something warm curl in my stomach. Stop it, Sienna. Back at the penthouse, Maria helps me get ready. Makeup to cover the fading bruises, hair in a simple updo that makes me look older, more polished. When I look in the mirror, I barely recognize myself. "You are beautiful," Maria says simply. I don't feel beautiful. I feel like a fraud. But when Alessandro sees me, something flickers in his eyes that makes me wonder if maybe, possibly, I pull this off. "Ready?" he asks, offering his arm. "As I'll ever be." Dinner is at an upscale Italian restaurant that Alessandro apparently owns. Because of course he does. His business associate is a man named Vincent Romano, older, silver-haired, with the kind of face that's seen things and survived. His wife, Gabriella, is younger but not young, dressed in Chanel and dripping diamonds. They assess me the moment we arrive. "Alessandro," Vincent says warmly, shaking his hand. "Finally, you bring someone. We were beginning to worry you'd die alone." "Vincent, Gabriella." Alessandro's hand finds the small of my back, and I fight not to tense. "This is Sienna Hartley. Sienna, Vincent and I have been doing business together for 15 years. "Charmed," Gabriella says, but her eyes are calculating. "Tell me, dear, how did you meet Alessandro? He's usually so private." "Hospital benefit," Alessandro answers smoothly before I can. "Sienna works with medical charities. We bonded over our shared interest in healthcare access." The lie is so smooth, so practiced, that I almost believe it myself. Dinner is a performance. I smile, nod, make small talk about fictitious charity work while Alessandro's hand stays possessively on my back or holding mine. To anyone watching, we look like a couple, comfortable, established, real. It's all fake. But then Vincent says something in Italian, and Alessandro laughs, really laughs, not the controlled responses I've seen before. And Gabriella asks about his mother, and his expression softens. And when the waiter brings tiramisu for the table, Alessandro automatically moves the plate with berries away from me before I can mention I'm allergic. Wait, I never told him I'm allergic to berries. "How did you know?" I whisper when Vincent and Gabriella are distracted by their own conversation. "Your medical file," Alessandro says quietly. "From the hospital. I read it thoroughly." "That's thoughtful?" He smirks slightly. "Or creepy?" "Both. I'll take it." The dinner ends late. Vincent shakes Alessandro's hand with genuine warmth, and Gabriella kisses my cheek and whispers, "Hold on to this one, dear. He needs someone who can handle him." In the car on the way home, I'm quiet. Processing. "You did well," Alessandro says finally. "It was all fake." "Was it?" He glances at me. "You laughed at Vincent's jokes, complimented Gabriella's dress, held your own in conversation. That's not fake, Sienna. That's just you." "But we're fake. This," I gesture between us. "This isn't real." "Does it need to be?" The question hangs in the air between us, because the truth is, I don't know anymore. Tonight felt real. His hand on my back felt real. The way he laughed, the way he protected me from berries I'm allergic to, the way he looked at me across the table, it all felt dangerously real. "I'm tired," I say instead of answering. "Of course. It's been a long day." Back at the penthouse, I head straight for my room. But at the door, I pause. "Alessandro? Yes? Thank you, for tonight, for not making me feel like a burden." He looks at me for a long moment. "You could never be a burden, Sienna." I close the door before I can do something stupid like believe him. 3 days later, Marcus tries to call. I'm in the library when my new phone buzzes. Alessandro got me one, untraceable, with only his number and Marco's programmed in. But somehow, Marcus got this number too. The screen lights up with an unknown number, but I know. I just know. I don't answer. But he leaves a voicemail. I shouldn't listen. Should delete it immediately. Should tell Alessandro. I listen anyway. "Sienna." Marcus's voice is eerily calm. "I know you're alive. I know someone's hiding you. And I know you're in the city. I tracked your old phone's last ping before someone destroyed it. Very professional. Is it a new boyfriend? Is that why you ran?" A pause, then darker. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to call me back. You're going to tell me where you are, and you're going to come home. Because if you don't, I'm going to find you anyway, and when I do... The message cuts off. Maximum length reached. He calls again. I don't answer. He leaves another message. I'm not angry, baby. I'm worried. You're clearly not thinking straight. Probably listening to someone who doesn't understand us, doesn't know what we have. But I forgive you. I always forgive you. Just come home. And again, stop hiding. It's pathetic. And again, you think you're safe? You're not. I will find you. By the fourth message, my hands are shaking. By the sixth, I'm crying. By the eighth, I'm on the floor of the library, phone clutched to my chest, trying to remember how to breathe. That's how Alessandro finds me. Sienna. He's across the library in seconds, crouching beside me. What happened? I can't speak. Just hand him the phone. He listens to the messages, and with each one, his expression gets darker. By the end, he looks like murder. Controlled murder, but murder nonetheless. How did he get this number? His voice is dangerously quiet. I don't know. This phone is supposed to be secure. He stands, already dialing. Marco, we have a breach. A pause. Yes. Now. He hangs up, then crouches again. Look at me, Sienna. I do. His eyes are molten fury. He can't reach you here. This building has security that military bases would envy. He can call all he wants. He'll never get through that door. Do you understand? He found my number. My people will trace the leak and eliminate it, but he will never get to you physically. I swear it. You can't promise that. Watch me. He stands, offers his hand. Come, we're going to my office. You need to see something. Alessandro's office has a wall of monitors I didn't notice before. He presses a button and they flicker to life, showing camera feeds, dozens of them. Every angle of the building, entrances, exits, stairwells, elevators, the street outside, even the hospital across the street. Every person who enters this building is logged, he explains. Facial recognition, ID checks, security clearance. Any unknown face triggers an alert. Any behavior pattern that's unusual, someone loitering too long, watching the doors, asking questions, flags the system. He pulls up more screens. Your photo has been distributed to every security guard in a 6-block radius. If Marcus Holloway comes within range, I'll know within seconds. I don't know whether to be relieved or terrified. That's a lot of surveillance. That's survival. He closes the monitors. In my world, you protect what's yours, or you lose it. I'm not losing you. You barely know me. I know enough. He turns to face me fully. I know you're stronger than you think. I know you survived 2 years with a monster and still had the courage to run. I know you're sitting in my office right now instead of breaking down, which means you're processing, planning, thinking of next steps. I could just be in shock. Are you? I consider. No, I'm angry. Good. His smile is sharp. Anger is useful. Fear paralyzes. Anger motivates. He moves to his desk, pulls out a tablet, hands it to me. This is everything I know about Marcus Holloway. Updated daily. I look at the screen. It's a dossier. Addresses, work schedule, credit card transactions, phone records, even photos of him leaving his apartment this morning. You're tracking him. Of course I'm tracking him. Know your enemy, remember? I scroll through pages of data, Marcus's gym schedule, his favorite coffee shop, the bar where he meets friends on Fridays, his mother's address in Connecticut, every detail of his life, cataloged and monitored. This is insane, I whisper. This is protection. Alessandro leans against his desk. Knowledge is power, Sienna. The more I know about Marcus, the easier it is to stay 10 steps ahead of him. And when you decide to... I can't say it. Eliminate him, Alessandro finishes, then I'll know exactly where he'll be, when he'll be alone, and how to make it look like an accident. He watches my face. Does that bother you? It should. It absolutely should. No, I admit quietly. It doesn't. His expression shifts, something like respect, or maybe recognition. You're starting to understand how this world works. I'm starting to understand that there are worse things than violence. Like? Like being helpless. I set the tablet down. I've been helpless for 2 years. Dependent on Marcus, trapped by him, too scared to leave because I didn't know how to survive alone. But you're showing me that there's another option. Which is? Having the power to fight back. Alessandro's smile is slow, dangerous, proud. Now you're learning. That night, I can't sleep again. But this time, it's not fear keeping me awake. It's anger. And underneath that, something darker. Something that whispers Marcus deserves whatever Alessandro does to him. That 2 years of abuse, of terror, of broken ribs and split lips and threats whispered in the dark. That all of it earns Marcus whatever punishment Alessandro deems fit. Is this how it starts? How good people become monsters? Or maybe I was never that good to begin with. I'm sitting by the window watching the city when someone knocks softly. "Come in," I call, expecting Maria. It's Alessandro. Still dressed, though it's past midnight. He has 2 glasses and a bottle of wine. "You should be asleep," he says. "So should you." "I sleep 3 hours a night. Old habit." He sets the glasses down, pours. "May I?" I gesture to the chair across from me. He sits, hands me a glass, and we drink in comfortable silence for a moment. "I listened to all 8 messages," he says finally. "Marcus is escalating. The first few were manipulative. 'Come home, baby, I forgive you.' But by the end, he was threatening. That's how he works. Manipulation first, violence second. Classic pattern." Alessandro swirls his wine. He's also getting frustrated. That's dangerous. Frustrated men make mistakes, but they also become unpredictable. What does that mean for me? It means we accelerate the timeline. I look at him sharply. "You're going to—" "Not yet, but soon." His eyes meet mine. "I'm telling you this because you asked for honesty, because you deserve to know what's coming." "When?" 2 weeks, maybe 3. Long enough for him to establish a pattern, get comfortable, stop looking over his shoulder. Then he shrugs. "An accident." "What kind of accident?" "Does it matter?" "Yes." My voice is firm. It matters to me. He studies me for a long moment. "Car accident. He drives drunk every Friday. I have 3 weeks of data proving it. One night, he'll lose control on a bridge. Very tragic. No witnesses." The words should horrify me, should make me throw the wine in his face and demand he let me go. Instead, I ask, "Will he suffer?" Alessandro's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Recognition. Understanding. "No," he says quietly. "It will be quick. I'm not a sadist, Sienna. I'm just practical." "And you're sure there's no other way?" "What other way would you suggest?" It's not sarcastic. He's genuinely asking. "Restraining order? He'll violate it. Arrest? He'll make bail and come after you. Prison? Eventually he'll be released. There's only one permanent solution to men like Marcus. Death. Freedom," he corrects. "For you." We sit in silence, and I realize he's right. I've tried every legal avenue. Called the police, filed reports, begged for help. Nothing worked. Marcus always found a way back into my life, always escalated, always hurt me worse. But this would end it. Permanently. "I'm a terrible person," I whisper. "No." Alessandro leans forward. "You're a person who's been terrorized for 2 years and is finally considering what it would take to be free. That doesn't make you terrible. It makes you human. Will it change me? Knowing I'm responsible for his death?" "You're not responsible, I am." "That's semantics." "No." His voice is firm. "I am making this choice, Sienna. You are simply existing in my world. There's a difference." "Is there?" He considers. "Yes. Because if you asked me to stop right now, if you said you absolutely couldn't live with Marcus's death on any level, I would find another way. It wouldn't be as effective, wouldn't be permanent, but I would try. He waits. Are you asking me to stop? The words are right there. Yes, stop, find another way. Don't kill him. But I think about 2 years of terror. Think about his hands around my throat. Think about the scar tissue around my eye from where he slammed my head into a wall. Think about 3 days of running, hiding, starving, because I was too scared to stay. Think about 8 voice messages, each one more threatening than the last. No, I say finally. I'm not asking you to stop. Alessandro nods slowly. Then we proceed as planned. He stands to leave and I catch his wrist. Alessandro? Yes? Thank you. For not judging me. I'm the last person who would judge you for wanting someone dead. He sets his wine glass down. Get some rest, Sienna. Tomorrow we have another dinner. This one more important. I need you sharp. Who? My mother. He leaves before I can process that bombshell. Alessandro's mother is not what I expect. First, she's young. Late 50s, maybe, with dark hair barely touched by gray and the kind of beauty that age enhances rather than diminishes. Second, she's warm. She hugs me the moment we meet, kissing both cheeks in that very European way. Finalmente, she beams at Alessandro. You bring home a girl. I thought I would die before seeing this day. Mama. No. She waves him off, switching to English for my benefit. You are Sienna, yes? Alessandro tells me you are a charity worker. So noble. So much better than those empty-headed models he usually dates. I don't date models. That Francesca, she was a model. And Valentina. And what was her name? The one with the hair. Mama. I bite back a laugh. Apparently, even Mafia bosses get embarrassed by their mothers. Dinner is at Alessandro's mother's house, a sprawling estate outside the city, complete with gardens and fountains and enough marble to build a museum. We eat on a veranda overlooking a vineyard that she assures me produces the best wine in the region, better than those pretenders in Napa. So, Sienna, she serves me more pasta despite my protests. Mangia, you are too thin. Tell me, how did you really meet my son? I told you, Mama. You told me a pretty story about a hospital benefit. She smiles, but her eyes are sharp. But I know my son. He does not meet women at benefits. He meets them when they need help. She looks at me directly. So I ask again, how did you meet? The question hangs in the air. Alessandro tenses beside me, but before he can intervene, I say, I was in trouble. He helped me. Ah, she nods, satisfied. This I believe. My Alessandro, he has always been this way, even as a boy, bringing home stray cats, defending the smaller children from bullies. His father said it was weakness. Her expression hardens. I said it was strength. The world needs more men who protect, not less. Mama? What? It is true. She turns back to me. He told me about Elena. I glance at Alessandro. He's very still, jaw tight. My daughter, she continues. Not Alessandro's sister, his half-sister from his father's first marriage, but he loved her like she was mine. When she died, she reaches across the table, takes Alessandro's hand. He changed, became harder, more focused. He swore no other woman would die on his watch. Mama, Sienna doesn't need to hear. She needs to hear everything if she is to understand you. She squeezes his hand, then releases it. My son is not a bad man, Sienna, but he is a man who has seen too much darkness, who has made hard choices to protect what little light remains. Her eyes meet mine. If you are his light now, then I am grateful, and if you need protecting, then I am glad he is the one to do it. Tears prick my eyes unexpectedly. Thank you. Prego. She stands. Now, dessert. I made tiramisu, Alessandro's favorite. When she disappears into the kitchen, Alessandro exhales slowly. I'm sorry, he says. She has no filter. I liked it. I wipe my eyes. She's honest. That's rare. She's dangerous, he corrects. She knows too much and says it all out loud. Must be where you get it. He laughs, surprised, genuine, and for a moment he looks younger, less burdened. almost happy. My mother likes you, he says. That's significant. She's hated every woman I've dated for the past decade. Even the models? Especially the models. We're both laughing when his phone buzzes. He checks it, and his expression shifts, darkens. What? I ask. Marco. He types a response. Marcus just violated his parole from a previous arrest, drunk and disorderly, picked up 2 hours ago. He's at the police station. My blood runs cold. Will they hold him? Overnight, maybe. But he'll make bail by morning. Alessandro's jaw tightens. This is good, actually. He's escalating faster than expected, making mistakes. How is that good? Because it means he's desperate. Desperate men are predictable. He stands. I need to make some calls. Stay here with my mother. You're safe. Alessandro? I'll be back in an hour, 2 at most. He pauses at the door. Don't worry, Sienna. This is almost over. But it's not over. 3 hours later, Alessandro still hasn't returned. His mother tried calling twice. No answer. Marco's phone goes straight to voicemail. I'm sitting in the living room trying not to panic when headlights sweep across the windows. A car. Not Alessandro's. I've learned to recognize the sound of his engine. Signora Moretti? I call. Are you expecting someone? She comes from the kitchen, frowning. No. Alessandro said no one. The doorbell rings. We both freeze. Stay here, she says, moving toward the door with the confidence of a woman who's lived in dangerous circles her whole life. I follow anyway, because I have a terrible feeling. She opens the door. Marcus stands on the porch. He's drunk. I can smell it from here, see it in the way he sways slightly. His eyes are bloodshot, his shirt untucked, but he's smiling, that same charming smile he used when we first met. Hi there, he says. Sorry to bother you, but I'm looking for someone about this tall... He gestures. Dark hair, probably looking scared. Sienna Hartley. She's my girlfriend and she ran away from home. I'm very worried. Signora Moretti's expression doesn't change. I am sorry. I do not know this person. Really? Marcus's smile sharpens. Because a little bird told me she might be staying with some Italian guy who thinks he's tough. Guy named Moretti. You wouldn't happen to be related, would you? Get off my property. Or what? Marcus steps forward. You'll call your son? Good luck with that. I hear he's a little busy right now. Something about a business emergency across town. Funny how those happen when you need them to. Oh God, this was a trap. A setup. Marcus lured Alessandro away. Leave. Signora Moretti's voice is steel. Or I will make you leave. Marcus laughs. You're what, 60? You think you scare me, old woman? That's when I hear it. The distinct sound of a shotgun being cocked. I am 58, Signora Moretti says calmly, now holding a very large, very real shotgun. And I have been dealing with men like you since before you were born. So I say again, leave. Or I will make you leave in pieces. Marcus's face goes white. You're insane. I am a mother whose son loves that girl. She gestures at me with the shotgun barrel, and no one threatens what my son loves. No one. For a moment, Marcus just stands there. Then he sees me behind Signora Moretti, and his expression shifts. Pure rage. Sienna, he snarls. You bitch! You're fucking a mafia boss? Is that what this is? Leave! Signora Moretti fires a warning shot into the air. The sound is deafening. Marcus runs. He stumbles down the steps, nearly falls, scrambles into his car, and tears out of the driveway spraying gravel. Within seconds, he's gone. Signora Moretti lowers the shotgun, checks the safety, and turns to me. Ben, she smiles. Now he knows you are protected. Good. This will make Alessandro's job easier. I'm shaking. You could have killed him. If I wanted to kill him, he would be dead. She sets the shotgun by the door like it's an umbrella. I am a very good shot. Now come, the tiramisu is getting warm. I follow her back inside because what else can I do? 10 minutes later, Alessandro crashes through the door with Marco and 3 other men, all armed. They sweep the house in seconds, find us calmly eating dessert. Mama? Alessandro looks between us. What happened? Nothing important. She waves her fork. A rude man came to the door. I sent him away. Sienna is fine. Marcus was here. It's not a question. Alessandro can probably smell the fear still on me. See, but he is gone now, I made sure. Alessandro closes his eyes and I see his hands shake before he clenches them into fists. When he opens his eyes again, they're molten fury. Marco, he says quietly, find him. Already on it, Fratello. And when you find him, Alessandro looks at me and I see the question in his eyes, the choice he's giving me one last time. Do I stop this? Do I let him go? Do I say no? I think about Marcus on the porch, about his rage when he saw me, about the fact that he tracked me here, lured Alessandro away, came to this house with God knows what intentions, about the fact that this will never end unless someone ends it. Do it, I say. Whatever you have to do, just do it. Alessandro nods once, then he turns to Marco. Make it messy. I want everyone to know what happens to men who threaten what's mine. Marco grins. With pleasure. 3 months later, Marcus Holloway's car was found in the river on a Friday morning. The official report said he'd been drinking, lost control, crashed through the bridge railing, no witnesses, no signs of foul play, just a tragic accident involving a man with a history of drunk driving. I didn't ask what really happened. Didn't want to know if it actually was an accident or if Marco made it look like one. The result was the same either way. Marcus was gone. And I was free. The first week, I waited for guilt to hit, for remorse, for some sense that I'd crossed a line I couldn't uncross. It never came. Instead, I felt light, like I'd been holding my breath for 2 years and could finally exhale. Alessandro gave me space to process, didn't push, didn't ask questions, just let me exist in his house, in his world, until I figured out where I fit. Turns out I fit better than expected. I still attend functions with him, business dinners, charity galas, events where I play the role of his companion. But somewhere along the way, it stopped being a role, stopped being fake. We have coffee together every morning. He asks about my day. I ask about his work, the legal parts at least. We watch movies in his home theater, debate books in the library. Cook together sometimes, despite Antonio's protests. We haven't discussed what we are, haven't put a label on this thing growing between us. But last night Alessandro found me reading in the library and said, "Move your things into my room." I looked up, surprised. What? Your room. It's too far away. He said it casually like it wasn't a massive shift. I want you closer. Alessandro, you don't have to. He held up his hands. I'm not demanding. I'm asking, if you're not ready. I kissed him. He froze for half a second, then responded with an intensity that stole my breath. His hands cupped my face like I was something precious, something worth protecting. And when we finally broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine and whispered, "Ti amo, Sienna." I love you. I should say it back. Should tell him that somewhere between the protection and the patience and the way he's never once made me feel like I owe him something, I fell for this dangerous, complicated man. But I'm not quite there yet, not quite ready to hand over that final piece of myself. So instead I say, ask me again tomorrow. He smiles. I will, and the day after, and the day after that, however long it takes. What if I never say it? Then I'll love you anyway. And somehow, I believe him.